Hi, my name is Thais Gibson, and I'm the creator of the Personal Development School. This is your daily breakthrough video, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to best support your anxious, preoccupied partner. So this can be if you are securely attached, this can be if you are a different attachment style, and of course, it is extremely important that each individual take accountability for their own wounds, their own communication of their own needs, their own boundaries. But of course, what healthy interdependence means is I am able to take care of my own wounds, my own pain points, but I'm also able to share them with you and receive a little bit of extra support. It's like we can have each other's back and have our own back too. And neither has to really outweigh or overpower the other. They can sort of move in homeostasis together as much as possible. Now, we're going to go through some really important things if you are the partner or loved one of an anxious preoccupied and looking to understand them better. And if you are new to this channel, I put a daily breakthrough video out here. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell if you don't want to miss any. So the very first thing that's important is to give your anxious preoccupied partner a sense of certainty and safety when they are feeling triggered and wounded. The vast majority of the time when an anxious preoccupied person is feeling stressed, no matter how they're expressing the stress, as long as it's within the romantic relationship, the vast majority of the time boils down to the fear of abandonment, which then creates a feeling of unsafety, or the fear of rejection and not feeling good enough. And in one fell swoop, you can actually, as long as it's true for you, of course, but in one fell swoop, you can actually let your partner know, I care about you, I'm invested in the relationship, I'm not going anywhere. I just XYZ. So if you're pulling away for some reason, you need space, you're going to do something with your friends this weekend, and it's, you're not having your romantic partners along or anything that may be triggering to them, you can let them know, I care about you, I value you, I'm invested in the relationship, but this is just something I'm going to do because it's important to me. And by doing this, it allows that person to have their exact fears and emotions spoken to that can help them feel a sense of calm, a sense of reassurance, a sense of safety. And these are things that really go against all of those major core wounds that are likely to come up for the anxious preoccupied person. So this means like you're letting them know they're good enough. You're letting them know that you're, invested in the relationship and they're safe to feel okay. And like there's a sense of certainty. You're letting them know you're not going anywhere, AKA not going to abandon them. And you're also letting them know that you're not rejecting them in any way. And if you want to take that last one about rejection a step further, if you sense that that may be a really strong pain point for the AP individual, then what you can also do is you can let the anxious preoccupied person know as well that you have different needs than they do because you're programmed differently as two different human beings. Because a lot of times what happens and why APs so easily feel rejected is because APs operate codependently in relationships. And so what they sort of expect at a subconscious level is that if you love me, you would treat me the way I would treat you. But what's missing within that is the recognition from the AP that, hey, I might be leaning more codependent than being in that balanced state of healthy interdependence. And so my expectations tend to be, as an anxious preoccupied person, that I will meet all of your needs and you will meet all of mine. And I won't have to meet any of my own and you won't have to meet any of your own. But it creates too much dependency on each other rather than a healthy middle ground of interdependence. And so what can often take place is, the AP is sort of at a subconscious level expecting like, if you go with your friends, I should always come along. Or if you need space to regulate, well, I should be there too. I'll help you regulate. And what's important for the AP to realize is, hey, I have my own way of soothing myself at times. Sometimes that is through space, or I have different needs in terms of relationships. It doesn't mean I value our relationship any less, or I love you any less, or I'm invested in the relationship any less. It just means that I also want to make sure I have balance in the other areas of life at the same time. So by doing that and explaining that and giving some transparency and context for that, what happens is the AP is like, oh, and they step outside of their own perception that we all as human beings tend to project onto others. It's like we tend to, without realizing it, think, well, if I operate this way, you must operate that way. And it's so easy for APs to fall into this trap of thinking, well, if you need space for me to need space from you, I would have to not feel the same way about you. So they assume based on their own programming, well, then if you would need space from me, then you must not care about me in the same way, right? So, but that's just not always the case. So really like helping them manage and question their expectations is a really powerful thing. Another tip that I want to share with you is when an AP partner needs soothing, a really nice thing to do is like physical touch. APs tend to respond very well to physical touch. It's very soothing for them. So if you're there in person, hold their hand if they're stressed, or, put your arm on their leg, or just something as you're communicating through things to let them know, hey, I'm with you. I'm on the same team. I'm on the same page. These sorts of things can really, really go a long way. Another really valuable thing to keep in mind is that APs tend to want to feel wanted and valued, and like their partner's interested in them in a relationship. So if you're somebody who's not used to giving a lot of words of affirmation, it's a good practice. Like even if you just once a week set the intention to speak in that love language for the AP, and to also let them know, hey, I have a different love language than you. If of course you do, you may have the same love languages, but let them know, hey, this is how I best receive love. And I notice that you really value words of affirmation. And so set intentions to give each other that love in each other's different languages. And I want to share one other tip with you, but before I do, also, we have these, you can check them out for free. We're doing this for the entire month of May for 14 days. You can enter into PDS and check out anything out in there. And we have all these attachment style courses that are every different attachment style with a counterpart. And it's like all the things you need to do to reprogram, to communicate, to share, all these different things that are really, really important. And so if you are the partner of an AP and you want to do a deeper dive into understanding your AP, check out Anxious Preoccupied with insert your attachment style, because they're all in there. So if you're an FA or a DA, whatever it might be, you can check that course out, of course. And again, it's free for the 14 days, along with all the other courses, all of our daily community events, the 4 live webinars I do with our students every single week, and the link is below. And so the last thing I really want to share is when it comes to the AP and actually having a secure relationship, another thing that you can do is encourage them to speak up and consider themselves and set their own boundaries in the relationship. You can ask them, like, if they say, oh, let's just do what you want to do, or, oh, let's just do X, Y, Z. If they seem to be like too agreeable or people pleasing, let them know, hey, I get the sense that you're just doing what I want to do. Take a moment, like consider yourself. What are you feeling? What do you want to do? I want to see and understand where you're coming from too. And by giving that support, it encourages the AP individual to check in with themselves, to check in with their own feelings, their own needs. And that's a really important established foundation for healthy interdependency, which is what allows a relationship to thrive and become more secure and sort of like bloom that way over time. So really speaking to the core wounds, really reminding them to check in with their feelings, their boundaries, and reminding them to question their expectations and sort of recognize any codependent behaviors are some really powerful tips to get started in improving the quality of this relationship long-term. So I hope that makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much for watching and being here. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And again, you can check out those 14-day trials below and check out any course in there that is important to you. We've got over 50 different ones, and I hope to see you on the other side.